Here with Rob Roskopp, co-owner, is that right, of Santa Cruz Bicycles?
That's right.
Cool. Can you tell me a little bit about how it all started?
Well, let's see. It's been a long time now.
Yeah, what year did it start?
I started doing the groundwork in '93, and we actually shipped our first bike in '94, which was the Tasman. And did about a year and a half prototypes, and actually probably 2 years. But we were ready for production, but we couldn't find a manufacturer. That took the longest time, so it took us another year until we were able to get the bike built. So we shipped our first 100. We got our first 100 bikes in, and we shipped. I think it was February of '94.
And so you said your partner is Richard Novak.
Right.
From, can you tell me about how your relationship with him started?
Yeah, Richard, basically, he's kind of been my mentor in business. And when I was skating professionally, when I moved out of California, I started working there, got a job, and got sponsored by him. And I worked there for about a year and a half until I started making enough money where I didn't have to work there off skating. So then I skated full time for about, that was from 85, I probably was skating full time then.
Yeah.
To about 90s when I pretty much just went back to school and back to work.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so you said you rode with Richard, like you were on a...
Yeah, I kind of got back into bikes. I had BMX bikes when I was a kid and everything. But around 87, I bought my first mountain bike. And then around 89, I got into it more. I started doing some cyclocross races and then some cross country and a little downhill.
Wow.
And around 98, I think that's when I got Rich into it. Even got him to race a few times in Seattle.
So even when you were a pro skater, you're mountain biking just as a...
At the end of my skating career, I just got into the mountain biking pretty heavily.
Okay, cool.
That's where kind of just from one end to the other. I was doing snowboarding at the time, but I don't know, snowboarding didn't float my boat as much as riding the bike, and snowboarding was easy, I thought.
Yeah.
So I didn't really pursue that. It wasn't challenging. Like skateboarding's, you're not clipped in. Skating's the hardest there is, the hardest sport, hands down.
Yeah.
And then riding the bikes, there's a lot of energy and a lot of skill required too, so I really like that.
Yeah.
It's funny, I've been hurt more on my mountain bike than I ever was on my skateboard.
Oh yeah.
Just because I think it's a higher center of gravity, and when you go over the bars, you tend to get launched a bit.
So cool. So you built this brand like from a skateboarding brand. There's nobody else.
Yeah, it's funny.
Very unique.
When we first started, there was myself, Mike Marquez, and Richard Novak, and we got the bike designed with local designer Tom Morris, who's since passed away. That was '93. We formed the company formally, and got the bikes made, like I said earlier. And us three got it the first 100 in, then we started shipping. And right before we started shipping, Hans Heim, who was Keith Bontrager's partner, came on board. So Hans does Ibis now. Yeah. And so we took that. Mike went to work for RockShox about a year and a half after we started shipping bikes. And then now he's at Fox.
Yeah.
And then Hans and I did it from 95 to 03. And then he went and started his own thing with Ibis. So it's been Richard and I. Richard's always been kind of the silent partner in the whole thing. He's not really silent, but not in the day-to-day operations.
Yeah.
Like I said, he's my business mentor through when I went back to school, and he really taught me the ropes of business.
Yeah. So how involved are you day to day? You're the guy who's running the shop. You're the guy who's...
No, not so much anymore. I've had John Forsberg, he's my COO, and he's been running the show since 06, about, roughly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what's your title now? What's your role?
I don't know, it's whatever floats my boat. I really like product development. That's probably my pride and joy.
Yeah.
Working with that, and also the marketing side of it with Ferrantino.
Yeah.
That's kind of the area I've always excelled in, was marketing.
Cool. And so you're out doing R&D on the bikes.
Yeah, I just ride. I wanted to, a personal goal for me was to, get the company to a point where it was managed. I had good people. That's the secret to any good company is the people behind it.
Yeah.
And I got it to that point so I could take off more time, and as my kids were growing up, spend more time with them. We travel a lot in the summer, and it's just really, it's that age from say 4 or 5 to 13 that is, I think, the years most people cherish with their kids, and we've been traveling a lot, so it's been really exciting and a lot of fun.
You bring them with you to World Cup and stuff?
Yeah. We were in Champéry and Val des Sols this year.
Very
and
cool.
last year they were, what was last year? I think they did 1 or 2 World Cups last year too.
Yeah, that's cool.
Because after the World Cup, we kind of lined it up so we go to visit my wife's family in Montenegro and Serbia.
Oh, cool.
So that's great because then the kids, they get to play their cousins. The cousins are older, but they get to know the extended family and the aunts, which is really cool.
Back to the skateboarding part of it, do you think you transferred any of that energy from skateboarding to your team? Because although you guys are clearly, was Menard third this year in the World Cup? Second,
just a bad year.
But Pete on top last year,
can't always win, can you?
No, but
it's just hard not to win when you're, I don't know, that's racing. It's frustrating to, no one likes to lose.
Yeah.
Be straight with everybody about that.
Yeah.
And when when these guys are on their game like they are, and at the World especially, that was just a shit show with the weather.
Yeah.
That was really sad.
Yeah.
Because, the best man didn't win that day, and that's unfortunate. That's racing, but that's what was so great when Steve won in Australia. Everybody had exact same conditions. Everybody had no mistakes. Everybody had their best throw, and that's what made it really sweet for Steve.
Yeah. I don't know. What do you think about your team? Does it compare to the? I don't know. Does it seem maybe not irreverent's not the right word, but kind of rowdy dudes, it seems.
Well, there's always a bit of fun and games, I think.
Yeah.
That's what makes it. The whole group giving each other grief and pranks and whatnot. It's a good time.
Riding you pretty good too.
Always. Yeah, that's part of it.
Very cool. I just like you guys are kind of you're not specialized. Your bikes are on par. Everything about the physical plant is, but you guys have your team, your vibe, your feel is better. I'm sorry, better's not fair, but did you guys?
Well,
is that on
we obviously we strive to be the best we can. So no one's that's one thing that always drove me nuts in marketing with advertising. The best bike ever built. Everyone says that. We've never said that ever.
Yeah.
Because there's always somebody better, somebody smarter. We make a damn good bike. But, I think people that say it's the best bike are just full of shit.
Yeah.
Personally. But back to, is the skateboarding transferred into what I learned from skating, gone into the syndicate? Yeah, somewhat. It's definitely a core group. Skating's kind of that same. I came from skating, obviously, and that has always been a core group. Because when I was in skating in the late '70s, early '80s, it died, and I got laughed at school for skateboarding. And I went to an all-boys private Catholic school, so I hung out there for about 6 months with the kids, and then I was gone. Because on the weekends we'd go up to the skate park in Columbus. I lived in Cincinnati at the time in Ohio, and the park was about an hour and a half away in Columbus every weekend. I'd get a ride with my friends. We'd just go up there. There was very few people skating, and then the park thing died. That closed. Then we built a ramp in my backyard, and that's when skating was at an all-time low. But we were doing it, and we just kind of kept it alive. And then a few years later, I moved out to California because everything was always out here as far as sport and just the lifestyle. Open-mindedness.
What did you do when you went back to school? Where did you study?
I went back to school in a marketing degree.
Yeah.
And we got almost all the way, about a year short.
Yeah.
But we started the bike company, the Santa Cruz Bicycles, and the company took off and took a lot more of my time. And obviously I wanted to devote it to that because I needed to make some money, right?
Yeah.
And plus, I enjoy it. I mean, the school part, what we were going through was all geared towards corporate strategies, and I wasn't learning anything really.
Yeah.
So.
Did you have any strategy in your mind with Santa Cruz, or were you just? Was it more?
Yeah. And when we first started out, more so the whole skate thing background kind of put that into the bicycle part. And I'd say in the beginning, it was a good time because I thought the bike industry, especially in the early '90s, was just very reserved, conservative, really nerdy.
Yeah.
Really nerdy. I mean, the guys were wearing suits at the trade show.
Yeah.
And we're wearing surf shorts and a t-shirt. And I went to the first Interbike show in Reno in '85.
Yeah.
And that was when Paul Turner introduced he worked on that bike I had the RockShox fork with the Kestrel Nitro suspension bike. So, anyways, it's come a long way.
Yeah.
And I think not until the last, it's probably been a decade, it finally caught up to, and I think that was the help, a great help, or great part due to the internet.
Yeah.
It brought everyone together, and trends were global. They weren't regional. Like California everybody was kind of on the same part. It really brought everybody together, and everybody kind of stepped up a few notches quickly.
So you saw in '85, you saw a space that your idea could fit into, like to bring more.
95 when the bikes,
sorry.
Well, 94, whatever,
Yeah.
But it was hard. I always wanted to do a team, and we didn't have the money because we were a small company, so we built the company slowly. First 8 years or so, and then we sponsored some teams, small, more grassroots effort in the beginning, but then eventually things worked out so we could do what we're doing now with the syndicate. So it's worked out well, and I really enjoy it.
All right, man. Well, thanks a lot. I appreciate it.
Thanks for having me on. Appreciate it.